Hi friends, Shayla here. So I am here for a recommendation video for you. This video came requested by my girl Tamika over at Library of Tomes, who is a channel member. If you want to be able to help pick recommendation videos in the future, you can learn all about channel memberships in the link down below. So today's recommendations are forced proximity. So I've got 5 manga titles and 5 novels here. So I hope you guys enjoy this. And hopefully this will help give you guys some recommendations for tropes that you like that you can find in books and in manga. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start with the manga and then we'll dive into the books. So the first one I have here is I Married My Best Friend to Shut My Parents Up. This is a Yuri title, which means it is a sapphic title. So in this we have 2 friends. The younger of the 2 has always crushed on the older of the 2. She's an office woman. She doesn't really have any desire for romantic relationships, but she continues to feel pressure from her parents. So because of that, this friend offers to marry her to get her friends off, or her parents off her back. And it's about them falling in love and about, Morimoto is her name, understanding what she really wants in a romantic relationship, because she has tried dating men and it's never been successful. So this is just really sweet and really cute. It's just this 1 volume and I really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't love it quite as much as I did, but I still think it's worth a read because they are forced to live in, because it's a fake marriage kind of forced proximity thing. They're forced to spend more time together and they get to ferret out their feelings that way. Next up is a new read to me, and that is the Apothecary Diaries. So in this one, we have Mao Mao, and she was kidnapped and sold to the palace. And in being in the palace, she is forced to spend time with Jinshi, the beautiful man on the back. She has apothecary training. So though she tried to keep all of that on the down low, like, she ends up getting exposed essentially. And so Jinshi is utilizing her talents. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a romance between the 2 of them before the end, though he feels very like antagonist at the same time. So I don't know, like, there's only 1 volume that I've read so far, so I only know so much, but this is fantastic and I highly recommend. Next is one that y'all hear me talk about all the time, and that is Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. So we're primarily following Seraphi. Seraphi has been raised her entire life to be the sacrifice to the King of Beasts. Through some spoilery circumstances, she ends up becoming his betrothed instead of his sacrifice. And so this is all about her and him in their forced proximity and him protecting her, essentially, while she also has to navigate all of the political side of this world and winning over beastkind as a human. It's so good. So good. The art is so beautiful. Like, come on, it's so good. By the way, she only wears this chain like in this first volume. After that, she's very free, has a lot of freedom, can do whatever she wants. So the whole like sacrifice thing is over pretty quickly. I get to recommend Wish by Clamp. In this, we have a gender fluid angel named Kohaku and Shunichiro. So Shunichiro ends up rescuing Kohaku when in their recharge kind of form. And they then feel like they owe Shunichiro a wish. And Shunichiro says, I'm happy with my life. I don't need anything. So Kohaku is then forced to stay on Earth until Shunichiro accepts a wish from Kohaku. And the whole premise is super cute. It's 4 volumes long, all contained within this 1 omnibus. It's actually pretty well made. I've read through this twice and I haven't cracked the spine. So that's pretty good indication of how well it's made. It's very heavy, but also like floppy. It holds open pretty well. But anyways, this has a lot of like angel politics and heaven and hell politics, and it's fantastic, guys. Like, y'all need to read Wish. It is so cute. And the last one, like, it is forced proximity, but it's also like arranged marriage kind of situation, but I'm putting it here anyway because I never get to talk about it. And that is Nay Nay Nay. This is a 1-shot. I really would love to see this talked about more. This is also an age gap where he's 20 years her senior. They are legally married, like from page 1. Yeah, like they're married from page 1. But he has special powers where he gets to see fairy kind. And so that makes him kind of an outlier and an outcast. And so they have this arranged marriage. And it's about them getting to know one another and blossoming into their own beautiful romantic relationship. So this has a lot of things going for it. It's an age gap, forced proximity, arranged marriage situation. I love it so much. And I really wish there was more than just this one volume. I cry when I think about the fact that there's not more. But I really want to find more by this duo because the story and the art both are fantastic. So I need to find more by them. All right, that is it for the manga recommendations. Let's dive into the books. So the first one is one of my favorites from last year, and that is The Undying King by Grace Draven. In The Undying King, this is basically a Beauty and the Beast style retelling, but our female Imogen has this thing where if she touches anybody, they die. She has like death fingers. So her mother tells her the only person who can save her is the Undying King. And so when they spend time together, if she touches him, he feels mortal, not immortal like he is. But he can't like cure her. And they have a beautiful relationship. This is my favorite Grace Draven I've read so far. I know a lot of people talk about Radiance and the other Phoenix Unbound series, but this one is my favorite. I highly recommend checking it out. It's a really short novella. I think it's on KU. I can't remember for sure, but I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad I own it. Next one is one that I haven't talked about in a long while, and that is Girl Gone Viral. This is a bodyguard romance. This is the sequel to The Right Swipe, in which we are following, gotta double check my names because it's been a minute. So we have Katrina. Katrina has some insecurities about people knowing her. And this guy sits down, starts up a conversation with her, and somebody like live tweets to all of it, and it goes viral. And so now she's feeling very exposed, and that can be cause problems for her. But her bodyguard Jazz steps in, like takes care of her, takes her to this farm where his family has peach trees, I believe it is. And from there, they get to know one another better in a more romantic sense. Jazz has been pining for her for a long time, and her eyes are kind of opened to the possibility of her and Jazz, even though she's had a crush on him for a long time. She's never let herself entertain the idea because of the power dynamics. So this is a really interesting one. I know not everyone loved this, but if you like a bodyguard romance, I highly recommend picking it up. The next one on this list is The Bride Test by Helen Huang. Again, this one is kind of an arranged marriage situation in which we have Kai. Kai is on the autism spectrum, and his mother goes to, I believe it's Vietnam, I'm sorry. So she goes to Vietnam and basically arranges for Esme, I believe her name is, yes, to come and try to win over Kai and become his bride. She has some secrets. She has a daughter in Vietnam, and she doesn't tell Kai about it, so that can cause some problems for some people. But in this, we get to know Kai and Esme, and it's really beautiful. I ended up enjoying this a lot more than other people. Then again, I have a sister-in-law who is not from America, who had a son that my brother fell in love with. And so this hits me different than it hits a lot of people, but I still think it's a fantastic book with great representation and highly recommend picking it up. I'm so looking forward to book 3 coming out later this year, by the way. All right, the next one might be a stretch, but I'm putting it in here anyway, and that is From Luke Off with Love. So in From Luke Off with Love by Mariana Zapata, we have Jasmine. Jasmine has been a pair skater. Her partner dropped her a while back. She's considering retiring when she is approached by the ever curmudgeon-y Ivan Lukov to be his partner for the next year. And so they are forced to be partners so that she has a chance to go at this because Ivan is very talented. And it's about them going from enemies to friends to lovers. It's beautiful. It is slow burn, as all Mariana Zapata books are. But if you like forced proximity, enemies to friends to lovers, like, this is a dream. And ice skating. So if you're missing Yuri on Ice is another thing, this is a great fill-in for you. And the audiobook is fantastic as well if you prefer audio. And then last but not least for this list is The Worst Best Man by Maria Sosa. Now, this is one I don't talk about a lot on my channel, but I did genuinely enjoy it. And in this one, we have Carolina Santos. She was stood up on the day of her wedding because her soon-to-be brother-in-law said something to her fiance, and he decided to pull the plug and not marry Carolina. So some time has passed since then, and she is now forced to work with this brother-in-law on a project, and it's about them getting over what happened and falling in love themselves. It's amazing. I love it. I have several tabs in here of poignant moments and things, and it is very much steeped in Brazilian culture, and there's a lot of references to Brazilian things. So it made my heart very happy because my sister-in-law that I just mentioned is Brazilian. So getting to see all the little bits of that, the little bits of language, the little traditions, it was amazing. I absolutely adored this book, and I highly recommend it. So friends, there are 10 titles with forced proximity tropes in them. I almost did some boarding house mangas, but I might do a separate video for recommendations for those. If you're interested in that video, let me know down below. And if you want early access to this video and other perks, you can look into channel memberships. Everything is listed down below. And thank you guys so much for stopping by. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below any other recommendations you'd like to see. Channel members get priority on picking these kinds of recommendations, so that's another reason to join. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.